Alright guys, first of all, and honestly I don't even know where this or when this came from, we have something going on here called Puff Pals Island Skies, a Kickstarter project, and I've just realized to have gathered about 30 times the initial goal they pledged and something about $2.5 million gathered so far. Here is the trailer. Puff Pals is, as you can see, obviously a farming sim, taking cues from Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and a lot more. Check it out.
There once was a dream world in which familiar friends, from the most heroic to the most villainous, lived together in harmony. However, as time passed, the forgetting set in, and the world fell into darkness.
Now, surprising as it is, or was, see, Gameloft, the mobile game developer who helped bring back a lot of good games so far, just went on and unveiled a pretty brand new collaboration with Disney, developing a game called Disney Dreamlight Valley. What they describe to be a cross between life simulation and adventures. Check it out. Disney Dreamlight Valley is coming to PCs and consoles in early access phase in about a month from now. The full game also releases, which is, in case you're wondering, a free-to-play game, sometime early next year.
And feed your passions. A place where you can find yourself at home. And let your creativity reign. This is a place where every day is a dream come true. This is Dreamlight Valley.
More fun than a summer in the countryside when you were 11. Perhaps a summer spent with your best friend.
Now, coming up at number 3, we've got Everdream Valley. What is described as a mix of adventure, exploring, crafting, and farming on a summer holiday. This game will just works like pretty much Harvest Moon, only with a somewhat interesting twist, which is in your dreams you will be able to play the role of animals. Then what you do in a day or night will actually have an impact on the whole experience and the story. Check it out, this game is now coming to PCs and Switch sometime later this year here.
But Everdream Valley, as beautiful as it is no ordinary place. And you will experience it in every dream that you will have in this place. Defending the farm inhabitants from wolf packs. Or being a one-man pack to them. One thing's for sure, this will be the most peculiar summer holiday.
Moving on to these Coral Islands, believe it or not, actually one of the most successful farming games funded through a Kickstarter campaign, pledging so far about 20 times over its initial goal and all of its plans met. This is in case you are new to a reimagined farming sim inspired by pretty much all classics, with the aim, however, to modernize and make the experience more inclusive than most farming games, or at least that's what they say. Check it out, this game's coming to PCs and consoles in only a few months from now. Now, My Time at Sandrock, which was supposed to be released in about a month from now, is postponed to more or less actually late 2022, all for a good reason as well. They said to fine-tune and polish the game once and for all. Sandrock over here, in case you are wondering, serves as a follow-up to the RPG My Time at Portia, which is a game heavily inspired by the likes of Harvest Moon. So take a look. This game's also coming to all consoles and PCs, and then even the Nintendo Switch. Coming up next, we have Pal World. Well, what I have reason to believe, as it seems, as a mix of Minecraft and creature collecting games like Pokemon. Actually a survival game at its core, and an open world, as you might have also suspected, a multiplayer as well. Check it out in case you missed it. This game is scheduled to be released this year on PCs through Steam, and the announcement over here actually comes from a little over than a month ago. Here is a new trailer. Now, Ranchers also, on the other hand, is an open world country life sim. Actually, you get to play this one with up to 4 people at the same time, online co-op. It's the same trick over here. You gotta raise animals, grow crops, craft machines, build your dream house, and all with the benefit of a really huge open world with a lot of mines and monsters to defeat and loot. Check it out. This game is coming to PCs only, either late 2022 or up early next year. So moving on, we've got Concede. Well, an RPG about growing up, well, technically speaking, getting old, dying, and it has actually been available on Steam since God knows when, maybe 4 years ago. Well, the game's been there through its early access phase for the price of only $15, I think, with actually very positive review scores, and well, what I have reason to be taking cues mostly from Stardew Valley. Well, a few other games as well. Check it out. This game's now releasing in its full with the same price on Steam, only we hear in about a few months from now. So keep it in mind. Alright guys, remind me if we had another game with the same premise, but over here we have what's called the New Leaf Memories, a game in which you wake up on the beach of an island, unable to recall anything. Was it Rune Factory? Anyway, A New Leaf Memories, which is a farming sim inspired by definitely the classic 3D Harvest Moons and Animal Crossing, is set to be coming to PCs only in about a couple of weeks from now. Take a look. Moving on, we've got Harvest Days, My Dream Farm. Actually, what is described by the fine folks at the team as an open-ended country life role-playing game inspired by a lot of classics, in which you create your dream farm, grow crops, nurture animals, and eventually fulfill your dreams as a farmer in an open world. Actually, this game has been available on Steam through early access since a couple of weeks ago. The full game, however, releases this time around in about 48 hours. Check it out. Alright guys, Paleo Pines on the other hand is a life sim, obviously inspired by the Animal Crossing and Harvest Moons, although with the aim to, when I quote, erase the negative stigma around dinosaurs, which I'm not really sure if there is a negative. I mean, dinosaurs are pretty funny. Well, I don't know, but apparently you get to tame them in this game or just have them as pets. I mean, look, they look pretty petable. You can also ride them. Anyway, this game is targeting PCs now, and a release window for it is yet to be announced. Alright guys, moving on, we have Spirited Island, a life simulation role-playing game and one set on a tropical paradise, or so what its developers call it. Here you basically get to help the locals grow crops, take care of animals, and supposedly turn a bad land into a prosperous little tourist destination. Check it out, this game's available on Steam right now through a playable demo only, and possibly due out in its full sometime next year. A cute and relaxing sim where you play as a girl who decides to visit her grandfather on Earth. for the very first time before she moves to Mars. So yeah, moving on, we've got No Place Like Home, what seems to be actually a very fun and addictive game. I haven't tried it yet, but the game has been available on Steam since March this year with mostly positive reviews as well. You can actually give it a try for only 20 bucks. Check it out. Coming up at number 15, it's Dinkum, another RPG sim that has a lot in common with Stardew Valley, or well, how it basically started with a lot of fishing, farming, and town building elements, and pretty much in the same exact vein as the Animal Crossing games as well. If not, well, I guess Harvest Moon, I don't know. You can play this game in multiplayer though. Anyway, Dinkum's said to be coming out soon and only in its early access phase, which will stay there for about a year before the full game comes out on Steam for PCs only.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find. After all this time, we were given an opportunity.
Moving on, it is The Wandering Village, a city building simulation game with a somewhat interesting twist. That is, you're in a world where these mysterious plants are spreading all over the earth, emitting toxic spores as they grow. And then there's this monster titan city thing. I don't know what that is. The Wandering Village has pledged for something like $30,000 US on the Kickstarter. It has already gathered 5 times more than its initial goal, and releasing around October to November, we hear, into PCs and Xbox consoles only. A strategy simulation based on stories of the first man. Well, TFM, or the First Man, what we have here is what developers of which describe to be a modern character-focused approach to old-school base building games, where you must develop your region and tend to your settlement's needs with the help of various paths like constructions, relations, and etc. Check it out. TFM releases on Steam for PCs only sometime in August this year. Coming up behind that, my fellow farming fans, guys, we have A Garden's Witch's Life, where magic meets farming. I've said this before. Technically speaking, after losing your job as a protagonist and a regular person, there's this thing that you have to stay in a vacant witch's house because it's free, I guess. See, a Gardens Witch's life is a farm sim at its heart where you will build your own garden, grow plants for potions, however, and eventually build friendships as you go with the townsfolk. This game's coming to PCs only, and a release date for it, however, is yet to be announced. And last but not least, guys, we have Pine Lily Village. What's described also by its developers as a cozy, magic-themed farming sim inspired by the classics, obviously, in which you grow a farm, take quests for the local townsfolk, cast spells, do a little bit of a dungeon crawling as well, and level up your skills through fighting, fishing, cooking, crafting, and etc. Check it out, this game's coming to PCs through Steam, possibly sometime later this year.